Good morning, honorable members of the Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. I would like first to start by thanking the organizers, the European Pain Federation, the Pan Alliance Europe, and the Action Citizen Network for having invited me to provide this presentation about pain research. What can the EU do? So let me first talk about the context. What is the context of health and health in Europe and in the world? We are facing a demographic change and increased burden of non-communicable diseases. This is the reason why the United Nations called in 2011 the first ever high-level meeting on how to address this issue at a global level. We are all member states raising health costs, increasing pressure on healthcare systems, increased costs for medicines and vaccines development. And we are also facing differences in outcomes, insufficient evidence on comparative benefits and overall value of current practices and approaches. So, in this context, Europe has a strong tradition in health research and innovation, with excellent universities and a highly innovative pharma sector made up of large and small businesses. But we are also endowed with significant strengths due to our diverse populations, cultural backgrounds, genetic backgrounds, etc. The EU Health Research Programme wants to take stock of all these potential to translate science to benefit citizens, test and demonstrate new healthcare models, approaches and tools, promote healthy and active aging, improve health outcomes, reduce inequalities, a very important issue today, support a competitive health sector, and, very important for us, provide the evidence base, the knowledge for effective health policies development. How we do that? We do it by supporting collaborative research, that is, trans-European networks in the area of life science. By favoring public-private partnerships, I would come back later on, we have the Innovative Medicines Initiative, which intends to speed the development of drug development. We do have also global cooperation, because the issue and health is so big that cannot be done by any country or even Europe alone, and we have several and different consortia on rare diseases, on traumatic brain injury, or in the field of chronic and non-communicable diseases, but also we are developing public partnerships the first example we have is our European clinical trials development for malaria, tuberculosis and AIDS, and that's the way the program functions. What about the pain challenges? You are here the experts, but you all know, so I will not take long on this one. 20% of adults are estimated, although there are not real figures on the suffering from pain globally. Chronic pain occurring in 19% of the adult Europeans, and low back pain considered #1 cause of years lost to disability worldwide in the 2010 Global Burden of Disease study. We know it affects all populations, but is unevenly distributed with a high importance in low and middle income countries. The etiology is complex, and we need a multidisciplinary approach if we really want to tackle it. Comorbidity with all the chronic non-communicable diseases is a very important point. So we need research to decipher first the underlying mechanisms, develop effective therapies, and also address comprehensive management approaches to pain, whether this is acute or chronic. So to start by saying that pain research has been a priority for us for a long-standing time. In the 7th Framework Programme from Research, which went from 2007 to 2013, we have devoted 93 million euro to support pain. The approach is translational. This is also a particularity of our program from basic research to public health. And we have addressed acute pain, chronic pain, biological mechanisms, biomarkers, imaging, epidemiology technologies, prevention, early detection, a lot of palliative care in the context of cancer, and many other specific areas like migraine, etc. This is just for pain. You have to consider that, for instance, in FP7, all the benefit of complementary research like musculoskeletal disorders, where we put 450 million euros devoted to research on these diseases. I said before that one thing for us important is to help providing the evidence-based knowledge to ameliorate health policies. Let me give you two examples from FP7. This is EPCRC, the European Palliative Care Research Collaborative. The title was Improved Treatment of Pain, Depression and Fatigue through Translational Research. This was our first major EU-funded palliative care research collaborative. It was launched in 2006. It established international standards and biomarkers, but also developed European guidelines, evidence-based, of course, for pain, depression and cachexia, three important issues in palliative care for cancer. This has had a lot of implications. It led to the revised clinical guidelines on the use of opioids in cancer pain from even the European Association for Palliative Care, and has informed national policies. For instance, the UK NICE clinical guidelines for opioid use in palliative care are based also on these results. Another example, it's the Addon Project. You know that the EU drug strategy, which is working from 2013 to 2020, is aimed at reducing demand and supply for drugs in Europe or the European Union, but also has to ensure access to prescribed controlled medicines. So the Addon Project was aimed at analyzing potential barriers for accessibility, availability, and affordability of opioid medication in 12 European countries, and what it did was to develop targeted policy recommendations to health authorities in each of these countries. The WHO, World Health Organization 2011 guidelines ensuring balance on national policies on controlled substances were prepared as one of the outcomes of the Addon Project, and Addon was invited to present the results at the WHO Member States meeting on controlled substances that took place at the end of 2014. So what about Horizon 2020 and our societal challenge on health, demographic change and well-being? Horizon 2020, the framework program for research and innovation, as you know, it's done with an overall budget of 70 million euro, and it has three pillars: excellent science, industrial leadership in innovation, and the societal challenges. First, to say that it provides a lot of opportunities for pain research. The pillar one intends to strive for supporting excellence through supporting the best ideas through the European Research Council and the bottom-up approach. Secondly, by developing talent within Europe through an extremely important program on Marie Curie's Sklodowska Research Training Fellowships. And thirdly, it will provide opportunities, therefore, for the support of research on the basic mechanisms of pain. The second pillar, industrial leadership, it's aimed at making flourish industrial leadership innovation in Europe. And one aspect which is interesting is this SME instrument, which provide seeds money for innovative SMEs which want to work on developing interesting devices and technologies. And the third area is the societal challenges. There are several, from climate change to food and safety. The good news is the health research, or the health demographic and well-being societal challenge, with its 7.5 billion euro, is the largest, showing the commitment of member states, but also to the parliament and of the populations to the issue of health. The program is challenge-driven. It doesn't address specific diseases. It calls for broad topics. It has a 2-year work program, which allows for the scientists to take more time for having the applications prepared, and has a strong focus on the end users. The priority, it's personalized health and care. We are investing on healthy aging, on health ICT, on human biomonitoring, but also on areas like infectious diseases and maternal and child health. The program has shown to be, thanks to its multidisciplinary nature, very good for pain research. And just in the first two calls, the 2014 and 2015, we have been receiving application support, which have been supported to the amount of 64 million euro. The areas are the same: acute, chronic, biomarkers, early detection, palliative care, and we are doing a lot of efforts on areas like comparing the effectiveness of healthcare interventions or showing proof of concept for new healthcare interventions, whatever these are, drugs, non-drugs, lifestyles, etc. Let me give you an example of one of the projects that are being supported. It's called Dollar Risk, Understanding Risk Factors and Determinants for Neuropathic Pain. And the issue is, what is this doing is trying to identify the influence of demographic factors, but also genetic risk factors, and try to understand how to stratify these patients. And they are establishing a platform to improve diagnosis in patients and to try to stratify them according to the risk profiles. And they are also trying to design novel therapies. But there are many opportunities ongoing. The work program for our health and research program has now, it's in this two-stage 2016-2017 call. I have mentioned in bold in the slide what are the current opportunities. As you can see, in the area of understanding health, well-being and diseases, we had a topic on new concepts in patient stratification, which could have been well suited any application which is interested in trying to understand what are the ways to stratify patients suffering from this. And in 2016, we had a topic on networking and optimizing the use of population and patient cohorts at EU level, which would qualify also for applications. In the area of treating and managing diseases, we have a call in 2016 on new therapies for chronic diseases. And now we are calling, the deadline is 13th of March next year, comparing the effectiveness of existing healthcare interventions in the adult population. We have also a call on supporting innovative SMEs in whatever is the area of the health biotechnology sector. But I was before saying that we also have launched a private partnership. This is the Innovative Medicines Initiative. It's a joint partnership between the European Commission and the European Federation for Pharmaceutical Industries and Associations. It's now the world's largest public-private partnership in health research. It was endowed during the 7th framework program with €2 billion. It has been renewed and enlarged with an overall budget of 3.3 billion, which it is called IMI2. The idea is to try to speed the development of clinical trials for the production of the next generation of vaccines, medicines, and treatments. The aims of IMI are aligned with the WHO Priorities Medicines report from 2014. One good news is that low back pain is considered as a specific issue to be tackled within the strategic research agenda of IMI, and that we do have a project which is called Europain, in which the Commission and the undertaking FPI is putting together 22 million euro currently to try to understand the mechanisms underlying chronic pain development. And also, for those which could be interested, there is the IMI call, which was launched in December 2015, which is interested in calling for applications on pathological neuron-glia interaction in neuropathic pain. We are all, but working us through European cooperation is not enough. We need also the help and coordinate member states. The EU health program is interested in developing personal health and care, but also member states have been actively pursuing the development of personalized medicine strategies at national level. So what we want now is to build an international consortium for personalized medicine, where we would be joining efforts with member states trying to establish Europe as a global leader in personalized medicine research, support the personalized science base through a coordinated approach to research, to provide evidence demonstrating the benefit of this approach to citizens and healthcare systems, and pave the way for these approaches taking place. It is based on a roadmap produced by the PERMED initiative, a strategic research agenda, which was released last year. We do have a personalized medicine conference, which is taking place on the 1st and 2nd of June, which has a policy focus. We expect 100 participants, and which will be the launch officially of this international consortium for personalized medicine. And it's based in 5 thematic sessions that are based on the strategic research agenda of PERMED. developing awareness and empowerment, bringing innovation to the market, translating basic to clinical research and beyond, integrated big data and ICT solutions, and shaping sustainable healthcare. But we are not the only ones at the Commission. The Commission is also working on the area of health and chronic diseases. The Commission is also, through 2 joint actions, coordinating the work of member states in this important area. We have, for instance, CANCON, which is the Cancer Control Joint Action. It's aimed at improving cancer control in member states, quality of life of cancer patients and survivors. And the main outcome is to be a European guide on quality improvement in comprehensive cancer control that it's supposed to be released by February 2017. There are 65 organizations from 23 member states participating, and the guide includes pain management recommendations to be developed. And the Commission, through its health program, co-funded for a value of 6 million. The second one is CRODIS, which is the first joint action addressing chronic diseases. It's again a partnership between the Commission and Member States aimed at exchanging and disseminating good practices on chronic diseases across EU Member States and to facilitate its uptake at local, regional and national borders. And the main outcome would be a very developed and efficient platform for knowledge exchange on best practice. There are 70 partners which are participating now from national and regional authorities in 26 member states, and the Commission co-funded for a value of 4.6 million euro this initiative. We do have also, as you know, the European Innovation Partnership on Active and Healthy Aging, whose aim was to provide 2 healthy life years to the individuals by 2020, and that it is supposed to be having 3 main arms: the health quality life of European citizens, sustainable and efficient care systems, and growth and expansion, and 6 areas of intervention, which many of them are related to pain or have implications: adherence to treatment, falls, frailty, integrated care, independent living, and age-friendly environments. Patients, let's not forget this very important issue. Patients are at the heart of the research and innovation program. In the projects, they are partners. They are through ethic boards, safety monitoring boards, patient input platforms. They offer patients perspective on recruitment, study design, and project communication. They also translate results in lay language, and they are our ambassadors, modifying guidelines to better fit patients' needs and contribute to disseminate activities. In policy design, they are present in the production of our work program based on wide consultations, for instance, through the Health Advisory Group, which is where we have a representative of European patients associations, and also through workshops, participation of patients. Let's not forget, Horizon 2020 topics are patient-centered, and many events are triggered by patient organizations, like today. So, as you can see, there are many possibilities to address pain and pain research, from basic to public health research, throughout the different programs of Horizon 2020. Collaborative health research, trans-European networks, only 3 countries needed from three different institutions from 3 different countries. Our EMI public-private partnership, the European Research Council bottom-up approach, the SME instrument, but many others. Let me finish by this quote from René Leriche, which was a French physician and surgeon, which wrote a book called The Surgery of Pain. In French, he said, "La santé, c'est la vie dans le silence des organes." In French, is health is life, lived in the silence of the organs. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.